is here, Sports Guy Show, joined by NFL insider Alex Bryant, who will pop up on the screen in a second from now. It will be like magic. Will be like magic in the air. We have the NFL schedule 2025 NFL schedule being released. Being released in so many interesting stuff, interesting games to talk about, which I think the best person to bring on, beside myself, yours truly, is Alex Bryant. So waiting for Alex Bryant to join me. 2025 NFL schedule reveal. Here it is. Hey, what's up?
What's up, dude?
Nothing much. How about yourself?
Not much. I had a lot of work to do, so it's over now. So,
Good to hear. So feel free to share the stream with everyone that you know, because I think you are more popular on X than I do.
yeah, right. Yeah, we'll do.
So feel free to share, and after you do that, we'll get started on the show. Let's start it. So let me know when you're done, please.
Yeah, I'm right here, man.
No. I mean, share the link.
Shared it. I did it. All
Okay.
done, man.
Thank you. Appreciate. So schedule. I was going to say one thing. I don't like how we have the schedule leaks and all of that because it's kind of ruined the excitement, in my opinion.
Yep.
Kind kind of ruined the excitement when you should be excited stuff to see it right away, instantly, and instead you have the schedule leaks.
Yeah, it's like a trailer for a movie. Like you get like a tidbit of the movie to like get you excited about the rest of the movie. So that's kind of what the leaks are for the schedule.
Exactly. So I mean, schedule schedule release. And speaking of the Carolina Panthers, which we talk about the Panthers and then we'll talk about other teams, I'm disappointed we don't get a primetime game at home. What's up, Bryce? So I'm disappointed we don't get a primetime game at home, which we had a show last week, a great show. Everyone should watch the replay after this one. We made a prediction, couple of home games, primetime. We don't get even one. Zilch, nada. Doesn't make sense. And then something that we should be excited about, week one opponent, Jacksonville Jaguars, which, for this who don't know, ladies and gentlemen, 2003, the Carolina Panthers week one opponent at home, Jacksonville Jaguars, which I attended that game and we trailed, I believe, 22 to nothing at halftime. We came back and won. Anyway, 2003, we made the Super Bowl. 2015, ladies and gentlemen, week one, road game. Guess who against we played? The Jacksonville Jaguars. We went to the Super Bowl. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not Nostradamus, but we are going to the Super Bowl. I mean, we played the Jaguars, so book your ticket to New Orleans, Carolina Panthers fan for the Super Bowl. Look at the hotels. Look at the even like hotels. Look at the Super Bowl ticket. Look at all the entertainment because we're going to the Super Bowl. We play the Jazz. Hopefully, we will win this time because the last time we didn't win, but we are due for a win. So
Yeah.
anyway, So that, so no, so primetime game against the 49ers, which frustrating, a Monday night. And then most of our games are 1 o'clock. And the final thing, then I will let you get points, of course, and opening statement and all of that. Very interesting. And I don't think it happened in a long time that we don't that our home opener is week 3. Typically, week 1, week 2, but week 3, which means one thing. Our last 2 games of the regular season before the playoffs start will be at home, which it's a good thing, but it's kind of surprising that we don't get a home game until week 3.
Yeah. So this is like absolutely 100% the worst case scenario. Like there's nothing good about. So we start off going road, and then our first home game against a division opponent, and then we don't stay at home for 2 weeks in a row until December 21st. So you go road, home. Actually, we go home. Week 5 and 6. So three of our first 4 games are on the road. We get one primetime game, and mostly it feels to me that it's like we got to give these guys like primetime games. We didn't give them any last year. Like it's kind of like a here you go, guys. Like sure, have one kind of thing. And then we don't get our bye until week 14. We have to go 13 weeks without like a break with guys like Adam Thielen on our squad and Taylor Moton on our squad. Um, the only good thing is that the first 2 teams we're playing are beatable. They're very beatable. Actually, the first 5 teams are beatable. Um, but it schedule makers definitely didn't do us any favors at all. Like, I don't see anything good about. The only thing good about this is that we have a bottom 7 strength of schedule. So the teams we're playing aren't that difficult, but we don't have like a lot of help with it from the schedule makers
Yeah, I agree.
overall.
I mean, the bye week, I wish I wish it would have been like week 7, week 8.
Sure,
That
sure,
that would have been much more fair.
yeah,
But the schedule wise, I mean, historical, we play the Cardinals. The Cardinals, you have a friend in the room. Can't talk like
Bryson, what's up, man? Holy crap, Bryson in the house.
is that not Coach Canales?
Panthers on map. Panthers on map.
So that is Coach Canales, I believe. Not Coach
Yeah, right.
Canales, but Coach Canales. Coach Dave
Yo,
Canales.
yo, yo,
He's in
Bryson,
there.
how about them Hurricanes, man?
Are doing well. So historical, the Cardinals, we have beat them. We should beat them, but it's the NFL. Anything can happen. Realistically,
Sure.
anything can happen. So week
Yeah.
1, Jacksonville, I'm sure a lot of the story will be David Tepper. Will he throw a cup at the fan? Will it not? Also, T-Mac against Travis Hunter, the ETN brothers. And I definitely believe we have an advantage in that game. Here's why. Liam Cohen, the Jaguars' new head coach, offensive coordinator for the Buccaneers last year, I don't think he's familiar with our offense because he did not coach the defense. So he
Mm,
was the offensive coordinator. And I don't believe he was in Tampa when Canales was there. I could be mistaken, but I don't believe. I think he was with the Rams, if I remember correctly, the quarterback coach, or with someone
mm.
else. So
Yeah.
So he's not familiar. And guys, smash the like button. All of you are watching, please. Let's help my channel monetize. Really appreciate. Support and subscribe. So so anyway, so we have an advantage. And I mean Evero, everyone, I don't like Evero. I wish he would be gone. But Evero should have slight edge because he already saw the offense for for the Jags with the Buccaneers last year. So that should help us. But Liam Cohen is not familiar with our offense. I mean, he can watch the tape, but watching the tape doesn't help as much as playing live. So he coached the offense, not the defense. So I don't think he's so much familiar with our offense. That is an advantage. Then we have the Cardinals. You know, the Cardinals will be looking for revenge to break the course of the Panthers, beating them every year. I hope this won't be the year. Then week 3, Falcons game. That should be a test early on to see what kind of team we are. Because if we beat the Falcons, which I could see us going 3-0, I would start jumping on the playoff run. Now, if for whatever reason, let's put it this way, week 3, if after week 3, at the very least, we are not 2-1, Canales, as much as I like him, he might be on the hot seat. Because looking at the schedule, at the very least, we should be 2-1, but I'm looking at 3-0. And then the Pats, week 4, I believe the Pats will be greatly improved this year. Mike Vrabel, Drake May, Milton Williams, Stefan Diggs. That will be a trap game. Well, Bo, the expectation, I mean, Bo, I don't know if you joined us earlier, but we stated we are going to the Super Bowl. I mean, we played the Jags, Bo. We played the Jags, Panthers, Bo. We played the Jags in 2003. Guess what happened? We made it to the Super Bowl. We played the Jags in 2015. Both games week 1. We made it to the Super Bowl. So, yeah, Coach Canales, we need to make it to the Super Bowl. Super Bowl or bust, based on the Jaguars, based on who we play week 1 opponent. Now, 2 years ago, Panthers Bowl, when David Tepper threw the carpet, the Jags fan, we didn't play the Jags on home opener. That is the reason why we had a bad season that year. So, well, anyway, and then we have week 5 and so on. So, realistically, at the very worst, 2-2. 2-2 after 4 games. 2-2. Anything less than that? Yes, Panthers Bowl, you can tell head coach Canales, even though I like him, he is very well, will be on the hot seat, and rightly so. Because last week, Bo, Alex Bryant, not me, Alex Bryant predicted the playoff. He predicted that we are going to the playoff, at least 10 wins. So you can book
Tonight.
that, Bo. You can tell
Yeah.
Kyle Bailey and T-Bone that, and they will pass out to Canales. Even though I like Dave Canales, I really do. I like his energy. But the NFL, it's not about what you are off the field, unfortunately. It's what you do on the field that matters.
Yeah. So let me tell you why this is the worst schedule we could possibly hope for. One, because we got new players everywhere. Dowdle, Tech, Wharton, Jones, two rookies, Gordon and Princely. Um, we got Mulrig. We're probably going to sign another safety. Like we got new players everywhere, and we're on the road. No matter what, we're on the road, right? And we're playing a Jags team that one we haven't seen Trevor Lawrence play in like 8 games because he was hurt all year last year. So we haven't seen much of him and Brian Robinson Jr. Not only that is that they've completely overhauled the offense. So we haven't seen guys like uh, Travis Hunter play with them. We haven't seen Bashaw Tootin play with them. And we haven't seen this coach with these players. But you know what this coach has seen? He's seen Evero's defense. So they have all offseason to prepare for an Evero defense. So we get them on the road. And then not only that, we have to go travel there, travel all the way back home, and then travel across the country to Arizona. So we still haven't been home. These new players still haven't had any time to get acclimated to a home crowd. It's like tough crowd, and they go across country tough crowd. Then they have to come all the way back home. And you know what? The first home game, what do they see? Atlanta, who has to travel what, an hour to Charlotte? So that's barely like traveling, and it's a team that's seen our offense and our defense, and just and the last time they played us, we beat them, so they have something to prove, right? So they're going to be like ready to play when they come, and then we go on the road again to a team that has a new coach. We haven't seen the system before. They also have a new running back, a new wide receiver, Drake May in his second year, a new offensive line. Like we have no tape on any of these guys until finally we get the Dolphins in week 5 at home. So we could start off. Oh, there's a possibility we start off 0-4. I mean, it's on the table. I don't think so. I think we win these games, but the schedule ain't doing us favors. Like it, if you just think of it like as how it's laid out, those first 4 games, 3 of them on the road and 2 of them against new head coaches, and 1 of them cross country and 1 of them at home against a division rival. That is not a recipe for success. And then all of a sudden, what comes up next? You got the Dolphins, who are usually in the playoffs. You got the Cowboys, until last year, usually in the playoffs. Road the Jets, that should be a W. And then we get the Bills and the Packers, and then a division game against the Saints, and then another division game, and then the 49ers and the Rams. Like, it doesn't lay out good for us at all. And then we have a late bye. Late buys don't help because we don't have that reset. If you look at Bryce after the bye last year, that's when he took off. So giving that reset is like so nice. And the schedule makers were like, not only are we giving you road games 3 of the first 4 games, we're giving you a week 14 bye when you have 35-year-old Adam Thielen, 32-year-old Taylor Moton, like an older Chuba, an older Dowdle. Like it it's not it ain't great. And then we don't have like even like there's mini buys, so there's no Thursday night game. So there's no mini buy. So we never get like even a 10 game rest in that first 13 weeks. It is bad. It is laid out really bad. And we go road, and we have we go road and road twice. 9 games are on the road, 8 games are home. This is nothing is good about the schedule for us, especially because even with the quote unquote bad teams, we're getting them early. And early bad teams are the toughest because they can always upset you because you're still figuring stuff out. And then we get those beasts at the end where it's all the division guys, Bills, 49ers, Rams, Seahawks, Bucks, Bucks twice. So I don't like it, but with all that said, it still is a bottom 7 schedule. Like these guys are beatable for the most part.
Yeah, I agree. What's up, San Diego and everyone else? And guys, smash the like button, please, if you haven't done so, and subscribe and share the channel. And let's help the channel monetize. Now is the time done with the PSA announcement. So, I mean, you're right the bye week, but let's look at it this way. Let's presume, let's presume week 14, basically we already clinch. Hypothetically, we already clinch.
Okay.
I mean, anything can happen. I mean, you laughing, but did anyone honestly before the season 2015? Did you see the Panthers going 15-1 with the rosters that we had when Calvin Benjamin torn his ACL at training camp? No one did. No one did.
Well,
So
we were on the come up though. Like we were a playoff team. We were playoffs 2 years in a row. We were playoff, and then 15 we were expected to be in the playoffs. We didn't expect 15-1. We were expected to be in the playoffs. We owned the NFC South 2 years in a row. Um, this we're coming out 5 wins this year this time.
right, but keep in mind, everyone was freaked out when Calvin Benjamin torn his ACL at training camp. I'm always optimistic in
Yeah.
general. In general. So let's presume we clinch. Presume we clinch. Bryce get a rest. Andy Dalton get a rest. Pardon me, Andy Dalton cannot get a rest. Yeah, I mean he can. Jake Plummer played. So Bryce get a rest. Adam Sinlin get a rest. You mentioned Chuba is older. I mean Chuba, I believe is just 25. So for NFL,
He ended the year in IR. I mean, these guys get hurt. These physical backs get banged up. I'm not saying he's going to get hurt, but they need a day off. They need all these other teams are going to play Thursday night football, and they're going to get 10 days of rest. We don't have one Thursday night football game, so we never get that mini bye. In fact, we get the opposite. We have a Monday night game, which our Monday night game is on the road, so we have to be on the road on a Monday night, and then on a short week, travel all the way cross country back home to play the Rams, who what are top 17 in the league right now. So they just did not help us at all in even like the smallest portions of the schedule.
Right. And you mentioned, just for correction, you mentioned Chuba has been on the IR for a year now.
No, he ended the year on IR.
No, but I mean, the reason why he was on the IR, we all know they were not going to make the playoff. I think if they had a
Sure.
chance to make the playoff, he wouldn't have been on the IR. So nothing serious as far as
Yeah, yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that he takes a lot of punishment because he's a physical runner, and that's going to add up, especially if you don't have even a mini buy to rest up.
but here's the difference between last year and this year. Last year, Miles Sanders was unreliable. You couldn't count on him as backup. So Chuba literally got all of the snaps. So he broke down. This year we have Rico, Dowdle, we have Travis Etienne, who I think is going to be very good. So
Yeah,
we have
Trevor Etienne.
Trevor. Yeah, Travis is with the Jags.
Yep.
So we have depth. We have depth at running back. And I
Oh, dude,
mean,
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you. I still think we're 9-8. But we only have 5 home games of our first 12 games. Five. Like it ain't good.
I know, but just a second. Adam Sandlin is very good. Don't get me wrong. But we are not as best desperate position as we were a year ago, where basically, God forbid, if Adam Tinlin miss times, we are screwed. I mean, we are really, really deep at wideout. We have Renfro, Jimmy Owen Jr., who's everyone saying great stuff about him, which I think is going to be a steal. And we have a Coker, we have Leggett, who I think will have a good season overall, better than last year. So it's not like if Adam Tinlin, I mean, last year, Adam Tinlin played pretty well against the Raiders. We won. Afterward, the offense struggled. Now we can say Andy Dalton, Bryce, etc. Our wideout overall, when Adam Tinlin went down, struggled tremendously. We are not in this position this year. No disrespect to Adam Thielen. He's a great wideout. He's great in the locker room. We could definitely use him, but we are not as desperate situation if he has to miss a couple of games. We are not, because we have so much depth at wideout. And the other thing is, yeah, we playing on the road and all of that, but there is not a team on the schedule that I look at the schedule and I say, oh my gosh, it's a guaranteed loss. Sure, the Bills, they are very good. They will be very tough to beat, even at home, because they will bring all of the Bills Mafia. Charlotte will probably be like a Bills home game. Same with the Cowboys, unfortunately. 49ers could be a tough game because I expect them to be greatly improved. The Rams, you don't know what to expect from them. But last year, we looked at the schedule. Before we knew who was going to play in the Super Bowl, we had to play back to back against the Chiefs and the Eagles. That, my friend, is a deadly schedule NFL standard. I don't look at the schedule and I see a teams that I guarantee a loss for us. And maybe it's me being extremely optimistic, but I don't look at our schedule and see a team that we cannot beat. Literally, we can beat all of them. We can lose to all of them. But we have a much easier schedule on paper compared to last year. Now, of course, teams will improve, teams will get worse. But overall, we, presuming Bryce stay healthy, which I think that is the key for us, the defense can slightly get better than last year, which is not a lot of asking. We can definitely win 10 games. Even though we have road games, there is nothing on this schedule that scare me.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, I agree with you, but I have to play a devil's advocate because it's not interesting if we don't, right? So you said that our roster is deep because we add guys like Tet and Horn. Well, last year we thought that Mingo was going to take that next step. We had Deontay Johnson on the roster, and we added Excel and Coker, and we thought the same kind of way. Mingo didn't take the next step. Deontay ended up getting off the team. XL had 497 yards last year. The year before, Mingo had 418 yards. So we got to get out of that mindset of that. Like, we just expect XL to be. I think he will be, but we can't just expect it. We can't just say that it's definitely a deep roster. We can't say that Tech's definitely going to come in and be great. We can't say that Horn's definitely going to make the roster. Like, these things that we have talked ourselves into when half the offseason we said we don't need Tech. Like, Tech's overrated. Tech, like, I mean, we create these narratives in our mind. They're still unproven guys. So the roster isn't necessarily deeper than it was last year, but it is more upside, and I like it more. But things happen. Well, nobody expected Deontay Johnson to go crazy. Nobody expected Mingo to fumble like on the first play of the game. Everybody expected him to take the next step. So we expect Excel to take the next step. We expect Coker to take the next step. I actually think they will, but the expectation, we need to be more objective when we talk about this team, like, especially in the sense of, hey, well, Bryce has everything he needs now. There's no excuse. Well, yeah, there is. Like, we don't know. Like, none of these guys are proven except for maybe Adam Thielen, and Thielen is 35 years old. So we still need to see it before we get super confident about it. That said, I am confident about it, and I do think that they will take the next step, but the schedule ain't helping us.
Right, but you Deontay Johnson, you said no one expected him to go crazy off the field. Now, why did the Steelers trade him? Because of his personality. So that was a red flag.
Yep.
Now, Mingo, his problem is he wasn't mature. I mean, forget about the fumbling issue and all of that. He was simply immature, which I think, honestly, he probably arrived at the game, at the NFL, too confident. Hearing Steve Smith Sr. saying, oh, he's the next great DK Metcalf and he's the great wideout from Old Miss and all of that. He got too much confidence, which made him immature. So he was immature. Maybe he will turn his career around, but Carolina, he wasn't mature. I mean, please correct me if I'm wrong, but he never caught a touchdown as a Panther in two
Yeah.
and a half seasons, which is a wideout. If you don't catch a touchdown, especially if you're a second, third wideout, it means you're not doing it. You're not doing it well. And you mentioned earlier about the Jags, Leon Cohen having advantage about the Vero to study a Vero defense, but also Vero has advantage to study the Jags. Now, you mentioned also we've never seen Travis Hunter. But yes, who's played against Travis Hunter before?
Uh, oh, yeah, Ted, but he's not going to be playing cornerback. He's playing wide receiver.
No, but still he can. No, I think they will also play him at cornerback.
Yeah, they'll probably play him like probably play him the safety more, but they've already said that 90% of him he's going to be playing is wide receiver.
So so at the very least, he can give some. And guess who also play with Travis Hunter?
Yeah, Horn.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
he for sure is going to have plenty of information as far as his game. And who knows?
yeah,
I mean, potentially we said Travis Hunter also played cornerback. I wouldn't be shocked if at practice in Colorado he went one on one against Jimmy Ohm.
sure. Yeah.
So so that
All I'm saying is that we were last year. Last year, as Panthers fans as a whole, were yelling to extend Deontay Johnson. Deontay Johnson's the best receiver we've had here ever. Let's go ahead and extend him. This narrative was about Deontay wasn't there prior to the season. Same with Mingo. It wasn't there prior to, so we're playing Monday morning quarterback with these guys. Who knows what XL is going to come in with? Who knows how Coker's going to come in? Like, we don't know. They're young guys. They can things can happen. I, I'm just saying that, and the same with Ted. Like, Ted could just be a huge bust. I don't think he will be, but he could be. Horn couldn't make the team. There's a possibility he doesn't make the team. I think he will, but there's a possibility. We just gotta stop having this overall mindset that this is how it's going to be because we want it to be that way. We wanted it to be that way last year too, and it wasn't that way. But overall, I feel like me too negative. Overall, I agree with you. I think we have more talent than the Jags. We have more talent than the Cardinals. We have more talent than the Patriots. We have more talent than the uh, uh, Falcons. So I think we could very start 4-0 with three of our first four games on the road. Watch out for this team. This team, I would say we probably lose one at least, but I think we're more likely to go 2-2. I think we lose to Vrabel after traveling that much and him just being a guy that just loves to pound the rock and play good defense. Those are
Yeah,
always tough teams to play on the road.
but I'm wondering if we're not seeing Vrabel late coach before because I'm wondering. I mean, he coached the Titans. I think a couple of years ago, if I remember correctly, 2 years ago when we played the Titans. I know it's 2 years ago and all of that, but when he coached the Titans, I'm pretty sure that we saw him, that the Panthers
Yeah,
saw him. Of course, it's a totally different roster,
yeah.
overall different team, but they have a tape. They have a tape. And I mean, the Rams, we also played against Sean McVay a couple of years ago, and of course against the 49ers. And all of those teams, I mean, the only teams that we probably don't have a tape on is the Seahawks because we never
We
played
play them every
against.
year. We played them
No,
last year.
no, no, we did not. Last year we did not.
Okay,
Last year we didn't play against them. We played against the Cardinals.
okay.
So we never got a chance to watch Mike McDonald coach. So that could be an issue. But then again, Sam Donald used to be in the Panthers quarterback. So who knows if when we reach that point, if it will be Sam Darnold or Jalen Milrow, who I think has a chance to beat Donald.
Hmm.
So I mean, as in the Packers, it seemed like we played them every year or so. And we go to Lambeau November 9th, if I remember correctly,
Hmm.
which weather-wise could be a beneficiary to the Panthers because just imagine if we go there, if we had gone there in late January, it would have been very cold and snowy. And November 9th, probably going to be cold, much colder in Green Bay and in Charlotte or in New York, but it's not going to be snowing. So that that should be an advantage for the Panthers. And I mean, the teams that I'm glad we are not playing this year, unless we, of course, make it to the playoff, which we will. I'm glad we don't play against the Lions, Vikings, Eagles, Commanders. Those are the four teams in the NFC that I'm glad we don't play against. I'm happy that we don't play against the AFC West overall. So that could have been bad. But I mean, some games on paper look like an easy win, and it might be easy a loss. But I believe if we don't start off 3-1, 2-2 at the very least, someone will get fired. Someone will get fired, whether it's Overo or Canales, or someone will get fired because the front office will not admit it. Playoff for a bus. But looking at the schedule, yeah, bye week, week 14, which is technically the last week you can have a bye week. But
Hmm.
overall, it's a schedule that, if you ignore the road games, it's a schedule that we should win more than last year. Last year, we won six games, if I remember correctly.
Five, yeah, 5 games.
Yeah, so this year at the very least 10 games. If we don't make the playoff, someone will be gone.
I agree. I
Someone
think
will
I think it's likely we do. I think we're super talented. We have a really talented roster. It's just got to be execution, and it'll
Staying,
come down to coaching. It'll come down to coaching.
of course, and staying healthy. I mean,
Correct. Correct.
yes, we have more depth at the defensive edge position compared to last year when we lost Derek Brown and it was devastating. But at some position we are very thin. Like for example at cornerback. We don't have a lot of depth, which I'm hoping they will address it.
We'll add. Yeah, we'll add.
Safety wise, they should definitely address it.
We'll add.
But
Yeah.
outside of those two positions, we are I mean, we didn't even mention Anto Retro, who could make the roster.
Yeah.
And he's basically a replacement for Adam Finland. If Finland go down, he can basically step in. But basically, my opinion, if we lose Bryce, even for a lengthy time, we won't make the playoff. We probably won't win a lot of games. If Bryce can stay healthy, we have no excuse as to why we won't win 10 games. Now, the defense should improve. I mean, last year we had the absolutely worst defense in NFL history. So they should greatly improve. They should greatly improve. And I am curious. We know the schedule is out. When does team when do teams realistically start scouting their opponent? Do they wait for training camp? Do they do it even start doing it now, even though it's very early?
Yeah, they'll start scouting now. I'm sure.
Which I saw a preseason schedule, which I believe we played against the Texans, the Browns, and I forgot who was the third team.
Um, Texas Browns and I can't remember. I can't remember either.
So the Browns week one home game. I believe week three is the Texans game, if I remember correctly. Which I
Week three
think,
for preseason.
yes, sir.
I think I can't remember. I have to look it up. I don't want
Yeah,
to lie. I don't want to lie to the public.
yep.
I'll look it up though. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. Like, I already predicted that we go 9-8 before even seeing the schedule. The schedule doesn't do us any favors, but it doesn't take away that the teams are not that great. We play the Steelers week three.
Tradition. The
Yeah,
tradition. So week three is probably your home game, which
yeah,
probably will be Yellow Tower takeover. Now, hopefully, Canales learn his lesson from last year, and the starters will play.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you play them week two, or do you
No, I
play
doubt
them
it.
week?
Maybe give him a series, but he probably plays. They probably play a full quarter on the week three, and they probably play maybe one or two series on week two. Is what most teams do, but we'll see.
Because last year, if I remember correctly, we basically only played the offense, the first team offense, one series.
Hmm.
One, and then they weren't ready. So hopefully they will be ready. So I'm predicting a 10 win for us. That is
Hmm.
predicting. Now, at the very least, we are going to have one primetime game. And I know the moment week 15 is scheduled to be 425 against the Saints.
Hmm.
That, of course, respects they can flex it out.
They won't flex
So,
it because the Saints are gonna be terrible.
right.
The Saints are gonna be terrible, so they won't flex it.
No, no, no. It's already scheduled for 425.
No, I'm saying they won't flex it to 8 o'clock. Is that I don't know if that's what you were saying.
Right. No, no. But typically 425 is prime time.
Mm.
Typically.
No,
Typically.
yeah, yeah, but it won't be flex to 8 o'clock.
Right. As it
Yeah,
shouldn't.
maybe the next week. Maybe the next week does though, because like Tampa Bay game and the Seahawks game could be flex because they might be for playoff opportunities. I think we'll all be right in that like 9-win area. So I think that the week 18 and week 17 could be flex.
In week 16, we have a home game. I'm not looking at the
Yep.
schedule.
Yeah, week 16 we're home against Tampa Bay.
So basically, week 18, we are on the road against Tampa,
Yeah, and
which,
the Seahawks before that.
which I don't understand. I mean, we play our first two road games on the road. We play our first two road games, start the season off. Shouldn't the NFL, it used to be, if you play your first two games on the road, it means your last two home games of the regular season are at home. So it's like double punishment in essence. Because realistically, they should have split and put us on the road week 16, week 17, week 18, home game against Tampa Bay, which also, I mean, realistically, I don't understand why they put us in Tampa Bay last 3 weeks basically facing against one another. I mean, I wish that they would have put a different opponent just for competition advantage and
Yeah.
so on. So it's kind of doesn't make sense that they put us back. I mean, ridiculous. Ridiculous how they did it in week 18, Tampa Bay. I mean, in a way, weather wise, the Panthers probably be glad to go week 18
Uh,
to Tampa because I'm assuming you weren't in Charlotte for any of the games last year, but I can tell you that week 16 last year, we played week 16 against the Cardinals, and the temperature in that game was around 32, 25 degrees kickoff and stayed like that throughout the game, which we are not used to those type of weather in Charlotte. But I
mm,
mean, even weather-wise, the Panthers realistic weather-wise, I think they're getting lucky. I mean, they're playing the Jets, I believe, week 7.
yep, makes sense.
Yeah, week 7, which October, unless something crazy happen, who knows?
Yeah, I'll be there.
So it
That's my hometown, baby,
so it
New
shouldn't
York.
so it shouldn't snow in October in New
Hmm.
York. Who knows? I mean, maybe.
No,
But
it won't. It'll be hot.
yeah, I mean, depend. And then Green Bay, November. Luckily, not a winter game for the Panthers, hopefully.
Mm.
And Tampa Bay, of course, there is a better chance UFO will land it in Charlotte, Carolina than it's snowing in Tampa Bay in January. So,
Uh-huh.
so in the 49ers, honestly, I'm more concerned about earthquake than snow because San Francisco, unfortunately, is prone to another major earthquake. So that, so realistic. Also, we don't really, I mean, I know we have to travel on the road, but we don't have to travel that far. I mean, we only travel to San Francisco, and the rest of the games, the rest of the West Coast teams are at home. Rams, pardon me, and the Cardinals. The Cardinals
Mm.
also on the road. But the Rams, they are a road home game. And the Seahawks, they're a home game. So overall, we kind of got lucky. I mean, I look at the schedule not for the Panthers, and I feel bad for the Vikings. The Vikings
Mm.
back to back game in Europe, which doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense for them. And I look at the Giants against the Commanders, and I'm not sure why the Giants are playing in prime time. I mean, maybe everyone is expecting Abdul Kader to turn the Giants around. I mean, I don't know. But and I and I saw that the Falcons have 5 primetime games. And I'm wondering why in the world did the Falcons get five prime times games?
I don't know. Because of the Giants is a big market.
No, 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 the Falcons.
Falcons. Oh, because they're a big market. Atlanta. I don't know.
Okay. Now,
People always have a higher opinion of them than they are.
I mean, does it make sense why they get five? And it's kind of disappointing that we don't get a prime time game at home. But I mean, I was thinking earlier, if we had got let's say the 49ers would have been a home game. Let's say it would have been a primetime game. Even though it
Hmm.
would have been in Charlotte, it would have been a 49ers takeover. Because the 49ers fans travel even better than the Steelers fans. They basically will take over the stadium. So it's okay that we are playing them on the road and all of that. So now I guess the next thing is what we do at safety. We're going to
Yeah.
sign Justin Blackburn or not, and cornerback. And then from there, it's all about training camp, which the Browns, I mean, the final point about the schedule, in a way, it's good that the Panthers are playing week 3 at home/home against the Steelers. Because it will feel like a road environment. We'll get them ready to play against the Jags on the road, which I'm kind of shocked that we are not playing the Jags in London. But then again, when we play the Jags week 1,
Yeah.
we always make the Super Bowl. So, we, I mean, that is something that we'll see will manifest again. But hopefully we'll win, of course. Not to make the Super Bowl, but it's to win the Super Bowl. So should be interesting season overall. I agree with you about the bye week 14. Like I am kind of curious when they make the schedule. Do they realistically? I'm assuming the commissioner is making the schedule. I could be mistaken.
They have schedule makers. Like not one person does it.
So do they typically communicate with teams? Listen, this is what we want, or they don't communicate none whatsoever, and they just release it.
Yeah, they choose it. They don't tell the teams. But
Okay.
small market teams always get less primetime games than big market teams.
No, 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 I know. But I'm referring to like the bye week and with
Yeah, it's basically they're going to try to help out big markets as much as possible because they want them to be the ones that are winning because they make more money when big markets do well. So basically, the smaller markets just get the smaller of the stick. Except they're like, okay, we didn't give the Panthers a primetime game. We have to this year. Where can we pencil them into a playoff game kind of thing, or to a what's it called a primetime game?
right. No, I mean, I don't think they gave us the. I honestly don't believe they gave us the prime time game because they feel like obligated, but more I feel like because of how Bryce played. If let's put it this way, let's say we won 5 games last year, but let's say Bryce wasn't good enough, and
Mm.
we weren't sure if who is the starter, Andy Dalton or Bryce. I don't think we would be having a prime time game, even one game. We would
Yeah, there's no way that they keep they there's no way that Tepper would be okay if we had 2 years in a row where we didn't have a prime. We were the only team that didn't have a primetime game last year, the only one. And then 2 years in a row, there ain't no way that would fly.
right, but I don't think Tepper has much to say regarding the primetime games
Yeah, I think the owners in general don't want to set that precedent. I think the owners kind of like will be like, okay, yeah, you're right. Like we need to give you a primetime game as a
because
whole.
I mean if Tepper had a say for the primetime game, we would have a home game primetime. We do not.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think they give us just enough to make us like not be able to complain.
Right. And I think Canales overall, I mean, outside of week two, I think Canales overall is going to be happy with the 1 o'clock games.
Yeah, no,
That
yeah.
that will
Overall, that's the only nice thing about the schedule for us. We'd rather have those consistent Sunday games. Stay on that same schedule, and that's the best thing about it. Because we get a primetime game late, so we get to stay on like a nice little Sunday every Sunday schedule. So that's the consistency. The so guys can get in a routine. That's good. It's just not the home and away. It's just not good.
right. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, it could be
Yeah, that's at the end of the day. It is. What it is.
right, and every team has to play the schedule how it is. I
Correct.
mean, the one thing I would wish, and they are not going to, because it's all about the money. Like, let's say you know you're not going to sell out, or pardon me, have your own fans show up, for example, for a game against the Cowboys, a game
Hmm.
against the Bills. Have the ability, the NFL know all of that. Basically, put the game in Buffalo, put the game in Dallas, and instead switch with us. Not
Yeah.
just with us, but in general. Basically, because yeah, Tepper, I'm sure is. I could be mistaken, but I don't think the owner care if an home team or away team buy the ticket. He care about the tickets being sold. So for
Mm,
Tepper, it's the same money. But
mm,
at the same time, I kind of wish we know we are playing the Bills at home. We know that they draw pretty well. Bills Mafia. Let the game be played in Buffalo. We know the
hmm.
Cowboys, even when they are terrible, they take over a stadium. Let have that game played in Dallas, and instead, I don't know, maybe the Jets home game
Mm.
in Charlotte, because the Jets typically don't grow well. In this year without Aaron Rodgers and so on, they wouldn't grow well. So basically something like that that they would switch. So anyway, prediction for our schedule, I said 10 wins. I think in the division, I think play the Buccaneers twice, the Falcons twice, the Saints twice. I think 4-2 in the
I think forward
division.
to it. Yep, I agree. I got forward to a 98, 98. That's my prediction.
And I think we are going to basically split with the Falcons. We'll sweep the Saints, and then so that give us doing my math real
Split it with
quick.
the Bucks.
Right, right. No,
Yep.
no, no. So 3 wins and yeah, and split with the Bucks. Give us
Yep.
4-2. So also, yeah, I think we will finish second. I think we'll finish second in the division. I think Tampa Bay right now is slightly better than us at the moment.
They're older
But
though, so I mean, attrition might kill them. Like they might finally hit an injury bug. They've been wildly healthy over the last few years.
when is their bye week? Because I know one NFC
I don't
South.
know. I'm
Because
not
I
sure.
know, yeah, I know one NFC South has to also have week 14. Typically, how they do it.
Yep.
So I'm
Yeah, I'm not
wondering.
sure.
So if you want to check real quick, let everyone knows, because I think that will make a difference as far as the all of that. Like
Hmm.
who's the week 14? Who has the earlier by week? I'm
They
guessing
they they got their bye one, two, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They have their bye week 9. They got a perfect bye week.
Right. So it's either the Falcons or the Saints. One of the two.
Yep.
One of the two. So I'm thinking maybe the Saints, because after I buy, we play them.
Hmm.
So I'm thinking that is our buy. That is when they also have a buy. Could be
Yep.
mistaken. So I I think we'll finish second. I want to be an homer and say we'll finish first.
Yeah. I think this division be a lot worse than people think they are. I think Penix is a little overrated. I think the Bucks are a little too old, and I think that the Falcons are just going to Falcon. So I think we'll be 9-8. I think there will be another team that's 9-8, and I think our 4-2 in the division will push us to win the division.
Right. So
My prediction. It will be the
who do
fourth
you
seed.
have, who do you have us lost?
Who do I have as losing to?
Yes.
All right, let me do it. I have it somewhere. Let me see. I think we end up 2-2 to start, and then we beat the Dolphins and lose to the Cowboys. We always lose to the Cowboys. So we 3-3. We beat the Jets 4-3. Lose to the Bills 4-4. We lose to Green Bay 4-5. And then we go Saints. We got 2 wins against them. So that's 6-5. We beat the um, we split with the Tampa Bay, so 7-5. Then we lose to the Falcons and Bucks at 7-7, and then we win two of 49ers, Rams, and Seahawks. So that'll
Oh,
be 9-8.
right. So I have us 10-7, and I have us week one Jaguars, week two Cardinals, week three against the Falcons. 2-1. Give me 2-1 in that week. Think
Mm.
we beat the Jags. We lost to the Cardinals. I know we typically beat them, but I don't know. I
Road,
don't.
road, man. Road, and road cross country. It's awful. I think we lose the Cardinals too.
So 2-1, and then week four against the Pats. I think they're improved, but I think we will beat them. So that take us to
That's the
3.
difference then. That's the difference then. You have us starting 3-1. I have us starting 2-2.
Yeah,
So that's the reason you have one more win.
right. And then week five, week five against the Dolphins at home.
We win.
That eh, I think
Yeah,
next two is actually could be a loss.
could
No, you
be.
know.
We won't
So
lose two home games in a row. We'll either lose the Dolphins and beat the Cowboys, or we'll beat the Dolphins and lose the Cowboys. Whatever it is, I don't think we'll lose two home games in a row.
right, we better not because if we do,
Mm.
we're probably not making the playoffs. So let's go 3-1. We we lost to the Dolphins 3-2, but we beat the Cowboys. We are
Or
due. We are due. So week seven Jets. I know on paper they're supposed to be terrible, but it's the NFL. So I'm going to go with the Jets. 4-3. Week
okay.
week eight, week eight, 49ers, if I remember correctly.
No, Bills.
Bills. That unfortunately is another loss. So 4-4 right there. Week nine, week nine
Green Bay
Packers.
at Green Bay.
Give me another loss.
four
Four
and
and five.
five.
Yep. Week 10. Week
Saints.
10.
You said we beat the Saints. That's 5-5.
Yeah. Yeah. 5-5.
So we split with the
Week.
Falcons. So that's 5-6.
Yeah.
Then
So
49ers on the road.
on the road, so we have to beat in order to get to my prediction.
We'd
So
have to
six.
win. So we have to win every game except the one Saints. Because you said we're going to split with the Bucks. So from here, we'd have to win every game except one Bucks loss. So we'd have to
Right.
beat. But from your what you said, we'd have to beat the 49ers on the road, Rams at home, Saints on the road, Bucks at home, uh, Seahawks at home, and then we lose to the Bucks to be
Right. But
ten and
I
seven.
right. I think we lose to the Bucks at home and we beat them on the road.
But we win every other. You think we beat the Niners, Rams, and Seahawks.
Yeah, I mean, it's the
Yeah,
NFL.
okay.
Teams
Sure,
could be very well. Teams could be
sure.
really bad. But I think 10-7 is doable. Now
Absolutely.
I could see a scenario where we beat the Jets, but we lose to the 49ers. That could also
That's what I had.
in the Bills, unfortunately the Bills, I think at the moment they're better than us.
Sure, of course. I think they might be the best roster in the league.
Right,
They had a
but
great draft.
I think it will be close. I think it will be close. But unfortunately the touchdown hasn't been banned by the NFL. The tush push, pardon me, hasn't been banned.
Hmm.
Basically, Josh Allen with his size, even so we have Derek Brown, Ashawn Robinson, and so on. They that will basically give the Bills every give them a first down every play. But here's the thing. I mean, I sit here and I'm wondering how good is the wide receiver group for the Bills? Because I I mean, I don't remember. Did they bring back Cody Samuel? I think
I think he's a free agent.
so. Basically, we still starting. Kian Coleman, Shakur, Kenan Shakur, and
Shakir, yeah. James Cook. They brought somebody else in. Who did they bring in?
no, but Cook is
Uh, they brought another receiver in. Who I think of? Um,
not
uh,
Cookville.
no, Josh Palmer. They brought in Josh Palmer. And they did keep Curtis Samuel. They brought in Elijah Moore as well. Yeah, they brought in some good receivers, and they still have. And they drafted Jackson Hall as a third tight end. Um, they shored up their defensive line. I mean, their offensive line. They drafted some defensive studs. They got Joey Bosa from the Chargers, so they added pass rush help. I mean, I like what they did.
Is Von Miller still a free agent?
Yeah, yeah, he might not get signed.
So I
Oh
know that.
man, they got Deion Walker late. I forgot. Man, this team, he got Maxwell Harrison, good pick. So their their secondary is good.
Yeah, but it's the NFL. Anything
Dorian
can.
Strong, they got Dorian Strong. Travis White's coming back. Yeah, I like their team. Their team's really deep. They're solid.
Right, but out after James Cook, I don't remember who's the backup, but I don't
Ray
think
Davis and Ty Johnson.
so. They are good, but not as good as James Cook in essence.
Yeah, oh yeah. James Cook is stud. And Ray Davis was a third round pick last year, and then Ty Johnson like had a really good games last year. So and then I
Right,
think they drafted somebody I can't remember who it was. But getting
right.
a guy like Elijah Moore is solid too.
But didn't
Man,
Elijah basically not play last season?
no, he played for the Browns.
Oh, okay.
I think he got
Basically,
hurt at the end of the year.
I mean, he didn't have a
Exactly.
quarterback, so literally he
Yeah.
didn't play last season. He didn't have a
Exactly.
quarterback
Exactly.
to throw the
But
ball to.
it's still a former like what top 40 pick, a 34th overall pick, and he's only what
25,
20
26.
25. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's good. I mean, they luckily we. I mean,
Whatever.
luckily, like I said, the Bills. It's a scary game, but we'll get there. I mean, who knows? Maybe we'll beat them, maybe not.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Hopefully,
Anything happen. Anything happen.
hopefully we won't be sitting here next season and look at the schedule and say, "Oh my gosh, you
Oh
predicted
man.
9, I predicted 10-7, and we just won 2 games. What in the world were we thinking?" I don't think we. I mean, barring an injury to Bryce, and barring an, I mean, final point you mentioned about Thursday night. We don't have Thursday night games and all of that. In a way, it's good because remember in one of our Thursday night game, JC Owen suffered a season-ending injury. So typically in our Thursday night games, we typically have injuries. So that is good. Also, as far as Thursday night goes, it used to be like a full bye week. Afterward, not anymore. So sometimes
Hmm.
you Thursdays and you play the following week. So it's
Hmm.
not. So it could be worse. I mean,
Hmm.
but I think the final point, our 49ers game will not be able to flex out of ESPN. So
Hmm.
everyone is going to stuck with us, good or
Yeah.
bad.
Yep.
Hopefully it will be good. Hopefully it will be good. Any closing point?
No, man. I think that it's not a great home road split, but it's still the seventh worst schedule. I mean, the easiest schedule in the league. We should take advantage of it, and we should be a playoff team next year. I was trying to play devil's advocate for a lot of what you were saying, but honestly, I do believe that this team is going to have a winning season this year.
Right. And basically, playoff for the Bats, if they don't, will be a
Yep.
disappointing season. And if I'm not mistaken, next week, I believe some sort of OTA. I could be mistaken, but I believe next week, next week, I believe it's the OTA. If I
Hmm.
remember, if I
Sure.
remember correctly.
Yep.
So we are almost approaching the
Jesus
time for
Christ. Yeah.
almost
Yeah. No.
approaching
Yeah.
time for training camp. So we'll be back next week. I'm sure there will be more news to talk about because we are approaching literally the busiest time of the NFL.
Yep.
So thank you, Mike.
Absolutely.
We'll see you next week.
Thank you, man. I'll see you then. Bruce.
Thanks. Good night, everyone.